Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Today we are talking about payroll basics or reporting basics. I kind of just wanted to go over how to access reports after payrolls have been closed and quarterly reports and reports on demand, things like that. This is for iSolved. So right now I am in what's called the report archive. So in order to even get into iSolved, you'll get a client user login, and then once you have that set up, you'll be able to see maybe not everything that you can see on my screen on the left side, but reporting options will definitely be there. So you'll click reporting and see how when I click it goes down. So you'll click on reporting and you'll click on report archive. So this is where reports live that have been produced with a payroll. So we have a lot of kind of basic reports that the system already sets up for, that we set up for clients that is automatically there. We can also add different reports specific for each client. So if you know, hey, I want to see a labor distribution every time, or I want to see a general ledger report every single payroll, then we can add that for you. And this is a nice, quick, easy way. And you'll see what I mean in a minute, to just have, what you need handy that generates per payroll. So you can see here now, this is a test client that I'm in, and you would be able to see all your payrolls up here. So you would be able to scroll and choose which payroll you would like to look at reports for. So we're going to look at this first one, and then below these are all the reports that generated with that payroll. So a common report that clients look at is Payroll Summary. So you'll highlight that. And then you want to hit this View Report button on the right. And then that will pop up a second tab and will show your payroll summary in a PDF. So this is just like I said, a test client that we have produced. And as you can see, it shows here, essentially what your liabilities are. So if it's got direct deposits and then direct deposit amount and then checks and the check amount. Depending on what type of client you are, you might have checks that are off of your account, or we pull that money from you and then the checks are printed off of our account. So depending on which one is specified will depend on the amount here. As you can see, this shows that it's off of the client's account. So whenever those checks are printed, it would have your signature on it, and then they would cash that out of your account. You can also see here you have the tax liabilities. If you have any third-party checks like garnishments or, Chapter 13 checks, things like that we would produce for you, whether they're off your account here, or if they're off our account, they'd be under this ACH debit. And then you have your payroll billing, which is your invoice that we would pull. And then you have your totals. And then down here, where it says total ACH debit, total your impound date, this is the amount that we would pull out of your bank account. So a lot of clients look at this to see, what amount they need to have in their bank in order to fund payroll for us to pull from you. It also has the breakdowns below, payroll totals, your net checks, direct deposits, your total taxes, and if there were any adjustments made. And then on the second and third page, you've got a breakdown of your taxes. So this will just show your wages, the tax for that payroll, and then also your month to date, quarter to date, and your year to date numbers. And then if you continue to go on, these are just your employer taxes here. So this is a great report to view if you, as a client to see, funding, financials, stuff like that for payroll. Okay, so now we're going to go back to iSolved. And another common report that clients look at is this current payroll register. And you're going to hit view report, and this is going to show the breakdown of the payroll. So all your employees, their pay, their net pays, if they got, bonuses, any types of earnings, their taxes, any deductions, excuse me, and employer taxes, okay? So you can go through here and you can see how everyone got paid. And then at the bottom of this report, oops, I'll turn down too far. We've got your totals. So we can see the number of employees paid, live checks, DD vouchers, all the totals of the earnings, taxes, deductions, things like that. And then also on the last page, this would be any third-party payments that were made. So, child supports, things like that. So we're going to go back to iSolved. Let's see. So our next kind of common report here is a check register, okay? And this is just going to show a breakdown of the checks that were produced with this payroll. So you've got their name, check number, and the amount, okay? This is a listing for all the employees that had checks, and also this third-party check is off of the client's account, so that would be there as well, okay? So then another common report is the deduction register that we look at. So this will just show a breakdown of all the deductions that each employee had for this payroll and all the amounts. So as you can see here, we've got the type of deduction, the individual employee, that's all the types of deductions they had, and then the scheduled amounts. And you can see that, and then your totals are down at the bottom, okay? And then also too, we have our direct deposit register, which again just shows the summary of all the direct deposits that went, the account routing numbers, things like that. And then also too, for if you have direct deposits, we have, put these in alphabetical order. I don't see them on this in the test, but we also can make available a report called Vouchers, which is not listed on here, but essentially what that is your pay stubs for anyone with direct deposits. And so if you needed to reprint them or anything like that, you can do that here. You can also view your payroll invoice. So this is going to have the breakdown. So on the payroll summary, it showed your payroll invoice amount, but it did not have a breakdown. So this is where you can see a breakdown of your charges. So here we go. We've got, for example, like on this one as an example, they've got a new hire reporting, your W-2, 1099 submission, employee timekeeping, employee processing, they had shipping as well. So that would all be here. And if you had any one-time billing, then that would be there as well. Okay. So the next place I want to show you is the return archive. So just like how the report archive, this is what generates per payroll. The return archive shows reports, quarterly, yearly, monthly reports that are produced with those timeframes. So let's look and let's see, this just shows, well, let's see. This is not showing me. Okay, so I'm not sure why there aren't any reports in here, but for your, in your, I'm sorry. Let's see. When you're in your account, you will see this here. So you'll have output items down here. So you can change, as you can see, you can change the year. So you change the year, the quarter, or the month. So if you've got any locals that are paid monthly, anything like that, you can select which month you would like. And then you've got your quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would hit filter. And the thing is that you have to watch out for, that I know a lot of clients can do, is they don't hit this filter button after they've changed anything on the drop downs, and then nothing, nothing changes. So you have to hit filter. So down here, you'll have your quarterly 941, which is called your federal quarterly tax return. And that is what it produces with each quarter. And these reports will produce, so say the end of the quarter, like quarter 1 is March 31st. They are available May 1st for you to see. But if you want to see them sooner, you can contact us and we can override that in the systems where you can see that sooner. The reason we do that is if any clients have adjustments or anything like that we need to make for any of their quarterly reports, we just don't want the quarterly reports to be available immediately. And then if we make those adjustments, then what's in the system is not, what you've received is not going to be accurate. So we kind of push back that release date just to make sure we've had enough time to make any adjustments. So if you want to see your quarterly reports sooner than the first of the next, the next month, then you can just call us and we can override that in the system, make those available for you. And also in quarter 4 of the year, you will receive your annual 941 here as well. And you can, change it to quarter 4 and in the year and hit filter, and that federal 940 annual return will pop up here. So you'll have a listing here, and on the right side, it'll say view report, and you'll click view report and it'll show up just like, you'll have a second tab pop up, just like in the reports archive. And then after the return archive, we have our year-end report archive. So this is where you'll see your, W-2s, W-3s, anything, 1099s, anything like that, that are produced at the end of the year. So if you need to reprint anything, you'll go into this W-2 pressure seal. This is the report that will show all the W-2s. So you'll just hit view report. And you'll see all your W-2s here. So if you need to reprint anything, you can do that there. And then you also have this 1099, which doesn't look like they had any produced. Yeah, this just gives, there's no 1099s for this test client. So this is where you'll do that, this W-2 pressure seal, and you can also see 1099. So if you needed to reprint them or anything, you can do that here. And these are produced, like I said, at the end of the year. So then you have, say you have a report that you want to run that's not necessarily in your report archive that produced with each payroll, you would come to My Reports. Now, there are many, many reports available in My Reports, and we don't have them all available at once for a client. And the reason we do that is, if you see my scroll bar here, how, this is a lot of reports, right? And a lot of times, not every client needs these specific reports, and it's a little overwhelming to have so many. So we do like to make it where, a limited number of reports are available to a client. And then if you need certain reports and you're looking for something and you can't find it, then definitely call us. And if the system has that report available, then we can make that viewable to you. So I kind of wanted to go, one of the most common reports I feel like that needs ran, that clients need, say maybe for audit reasons, if they need a date range, payroll, hey, this payroll report is great, the current payroll detail, but I need to see one for the last 8 payrolls, or from June 1st of 19 to June 1st of 20. And you can do that by looking up a check history. Oh, not sure why it's logged me out. Not sure why. Gonna log back in real quick. Okay, so I'm sorry, let's go back into my reports under reporting. And you will look up a check history summary. So you can do a check history detail or a check history summary. The difference between the two would be the detail is going to show, like, for example, let's say Hannah Sanchez, was an employee. If you're looking up a date range for a year's worth, you're going to see my pays, every single one of my pays separated for that time period in the detail. For a summary, you'll see my total, just my name one time, and the total pay I received that whole year. So let's do a check history summary. So then on the right side, you can see how you can change the date. And if you had different pay groups, hourly and salary people, you can separate those. You can also run it for just one employee if you'd like. So if you wanted just to see one employee, you could type their last name in here and it would pop up. You could select them. Otherwise, it'll show all the employees. And then for some reports, you have the option to change the formatting. So this one isn't capable. You have to choose a PDF, but you can also choose Excel for some. So we're just going to leave this date range in here, and you're going to hit Generate Report right here. And then you have this green box pop up that says Report's been submitted. And then in order to view this report, you're going to go to My Reports Queue. And from here, you can see your reports queue. Now, your reports, anytime you run reports, they stay in here for, I believe it's 72 hours. So if you ran any reports yesterday and you are like, man, I don't want to have to rerun that report. What is it? Well, if you go to your reports queue, the report that you ran will stay in here for a couple of days. So, and sometimes too, how you can see this view report, sometimes it's not there. How this is generated, that means it's completed. If it says in process, sometimes with larger reports, it takes just a few seconds longer. So when you come to My Reports queue, if it's not generated and you don't see this button over here, you're going to hit refresh until this View Report button pops up. So you'll click View Report. And you can see they've not had any payrolls ran, but if they had, you would see all the listing of the check history summary here, and then the totals at the bottom. So that's just sort of kind of just an overview of reports. So again, just to kind of recap what we talked about, you've got your report archive. It'll go and you can view reports per payroll, right? You can select which payroll you'd like to see. And then you have your return archive, which shows quarterly, monthly, or yearly returns that we generate. Then you have your year-end report archive, which has like your W-2s, 1099s, things like that. And then if you have a special report that you want to run, you know, like I said, you could do labor distribution, you've got your check history summary. I mean, there's many options here. Then you would hit My Reports. So does anyone have any questions? You know, I don't know if you can type in your chat. If you have any questions that I can answer while we're on here currently. If not, then this recording, we are recording this training. So if you guys have any questions or want to refer back to this, then I do have this recorded and we will send this out to everyone who registered today. So I hope this has been beneficial for you. And I hope that, you've kind of learned how to go in here. And of course, if you have any questions, whenever you're trying to, let's see, go to questions. Will you be providing a written form of directions? We do have what's called the iSolved University. So in iSolved University, they have many articles and classes available. So in that, Shauna, I can send that to you as well. And it is, let me make a note of that too. I can send that to you. But yes, there are articles in iSolved University. And as you can see on my screen here, here's my name. If I click down, you can see the university. And from there, the university has a lot of different resources available to learn more about the system. Also, too, you see how in this top right corner, how it says help? So you can click on that and it will show you the different reports that are available in the university that are specific to this page. So the report archive, I can click on that. And it shows me kind of written documents on the report archive and how you can view it and schedule report options, things like that. And then at the bottom, there is a PDF available that you can actually download. Okay. Did anyone else have any more questions while we were on? Okay, well, if anyone else has any questions, you can reach out directly to me if you'd like, or your payroll processor, and we can answer any questions you might have. So again, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I really appreciate all of you joining me today. And if you have any other iSolved questions, of course, reach out to either me or anyone at higher level, and we will be more than happy to help you. So I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you.